On today's Toy Spot, we're having a look at the Neca Gremlins Series 2 Mohawk. Mohawk, along with all the other Mogwais, all feature poseable eyes. See details on back. This comes to us from the good folks at Neca, who I've been so impressed with what they've done with the Gremlins line. I hope they continue to release these. There is also another Mogwais line coming out, Series 3. I'm not quite sure when it's coming out, but we have like first appearance of Gizmo, like Gremlins 1 Gizmo. I'm definitely looking forward to getting those as well. On the back, really just shows a picture of Mohawk. Not really much going on there. It does almost look like on the back that his Mohawk is actually a molded piece of plastic, very similar to his head. As you can clearly see, though, it is real figure hair. Of the Mogwais you can collect, you can get Gizmo, George, Lenny, Daffy, Combat Gizmo, and of course Mohawk. What I am going to do is take a bit of a break. I'm going to get this opened up, and when we come back, we're going to get a better look at the Gremlins Series 2 Mohawk. More to come, guys. Don't go anywhere. Alright, I'm going to get this out of the way first. Does Mohawk not look like actor Brad Dourif? Chucky? No? Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. Mohawk does have the same pull tab, which apparently was a lot easier to get out than Daffy, and has the same trackball on the back that when rotated, his eyes move back and forth, up, down. He has one thing, and I'm not sure if it's just this particular figure, but I find, you can see right there, there's a considerable gap in between the figure's head and his torso. There's also all this loose hair coming from his Mohawk itself. I don't know if that's every single Mohawk or every single, I guess it would be Mohawk. I don't know if every single Mohawk has that problem. You can clearly see that there's a big gap in between the figure's torso and his head. And even if I apply pressure, which I don't want to apply too much, it doesn't look like his head goes any bit further down. That's as good as it's going to get. Now, that maybe they've done it, maybe they've given him that little bit of reach in his neck to make his head, you know, the distance from his head, from his shoulders, a little higher up than that of a conventional Mogwai. Case in point, let's actually bring in, there's Combat Gizmo. I think you can see it, though, how his head definitely sits further up than that of Gizmo. Find that kind of interesting. As a result, though, his head I find is a little loose because of that. Now, Mohawk does appear to be using the same bottom torso, legs, arms, and hands of the regular Mogwais. Obviously, the only difference is his Brad Dourif sculpted face. Also, with Mohawk, his ears are a little bit different than that of the other Mogwais as well. These ones are a little more shredded. Almost look more like leaves, I guess. But once again, as always, the texture as well as the paint on Mohawk is phenomenal. Some of really Neca's best work, I find, has gone into these Gremlins figures. They've just done a fantastic job. I mean, the sneer in his mouth, it looks like that almost is a separate piece, but I guess it would be a separate piece. It does look like they've added it on. But yeah, I'm definitely very, very impressed. Oh, look at that sinister look. I'm in your dreams. One other thing that obviously stands out quite a bit on Mohawk is the fact he's got this Mohawk real hair, the real doll hair going on here. It doesn't... Maybe he needs to be brushed or something, but I find a lot of it comes off of the figure. Maybe you just have to get that initial loose bit of hair off, and then everything else after that is fine. It's definitely ratty and messy, and it's a lot longer as well than what I would have expected too, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. Maybe a little Vidal Sassoon, maybe a little gel on the side. Look at that. He's styling, ready to go out. Again, for a figure that really uses a lot of the same elements as the other Mogwais, he definitely looks very awesome. And his face is so sinister, yet so very, very cool. In the way of Mohawk's articulation, as I already mentioned, he's got a ball-jointed head. A little loose on my figure, may not be for everyone's figure. He's got the ball-jointed ears that move out, up and down, rotate as well. His arms are on a ball joint. His forearms are on a ball joint, as well as his hands, and as well as his legs. Actually, it looks like they're hinged more so than a ball joint. But paint's pretty clean on Mohawk. His expression definitely is what draws me to this figure. He is probably my favorite of the line, excluding Combat Gizmo. I mean, I still have a soft spot for Combat Gizmo, but Mohawk is definitely one of my favorites, if not my favorite of the evil, at least, Mogwais, which, we'll bring them in right now. There's Lenny. There's Daffy. And lastly, old Grumpy George. He goes over the side here. There you have all the Mogwais. And if I reach way off camera, there's the original Gizmo and Combat Gizmo. And you've got yourself a neat little setup of all the different Mogwais. I love it. I'm not sure if I'll actually venture out into getting the Gremlins, just because the Gremlins are so much taller and they take up so much more space. But I'm really loving these Mogwais. They're small, they're compact, they're super poseable, and NECA once again has done a fantastic job on this figure line. Mohawk, I'm going to give him a 9.5. I definitely can't say anything too bad about him. Maybe his hair could be a problem with the glue after a while. Could fall out. But I mean, overall, I'm just really, really happy with him. And I would definitely recommend him along with his nemesis, Combat Gizmo. Today's Toy Spot, we're wrapping up the reviews of the Gremlins Series 2, the Mogwai Series 2 figures. And today we're having a look at the evil leader. There he is right there, Mohawk. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.